All right, hey there, founders and solopreneurs. Today, we are getting straight to it. No high-level theory, okay? We're going to build step by step your very first AI workflow, something that's going to save you a ton of time. Let's get into it. So if you're running your own show, I bet this feels familiar, right? That feeling of just drowning in content creation. You're constantly having to post, write, create, just to keep your head above water. It's like this never-ending treadmill, and it feels like you spend more time feeding the algorithm than actually, building your business. But what if there was a better way? What if you could actually change that? Well, today we're going to do just that. We're going to build a super simple automated AI workflow. The whole point? To get your time back. I'm talking about saving hours every single week, all by letting AI do the heavy lifting. So yeah, let's build this thing. Okay, so how do we actually make this happen? It all comes down to this 4-step blueprint. And don't worry, this isn't about complex coding or anything like that. Nope. This is a simple, repeatable process that you can use for pretty much any boring, repetitive task in your business. And you can start today. All right, here it is. The whole framework in one shot. It's just 4 simple steps. First, you got to define the task. Then you select the tools. Third, you set a trigger. That's what kicks the whole thing off. And finally, you automate the delivery. Basically, where does the finished product go? That's the whole logic. Now let's dive into each one of these. Okay, step 1. And honestly, this is the most important one. You have to define the task. The keywords to remember here are specific and repeatable. Why? Because AI needs clear instructions. If you just say, make some content, you're going to get bland, generic junk back. But if you say, generate 5 Twitter thread ideas about AI productivity every single Monday morning, now that is a task an AI can nail perfectly. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on for our example. Step 2, let's pick our tools. And look, you don't need to go out and buy a dozen expensive apps for this, seriously. It's actually way better to start with just one powerful, super flexible tool, something like ChatGPT. Just think of it as your new creative partner. Its main job here is to solve that dreaded blank page problem. It'll do the brainstorming and whip up those first drafts for you. So how do we get this thing to run all by itself? That's where the trigger comes in. The trigger is basically the starting pistol for your workflow. It could be something simple like a calendar event that happens every Monday at 9 a.m. Or it could be something like whenever a new file gets dropped into a folder. The point is, you set it up just one time and then it just runs automatically. And finally, step 4, we automate the delivery. The AI's done its job. So now what? Where does the result actually go? The whole idea here is to get rid of that annoying manual copy and paste. The system should just, poof, send the result exactly where you need it. Straight into a Notion page, into your email drafts, or right onto your content calendar. That last piece of the puzzle is what makes this a real set it and forget it system. All right, so that's the theory, right? Let's get practical. Let's see what this blueprint actually looks like when you put it to work. I'm going to show you how these 4 steps can come together and just completely automate your content for the week. Just look at how simple and clean this can be. Monday morning, boom, your trigger goes off and the AI spits out a bunch of topic ideas for you. Tuesday, it grabs the best idea and writes a whole first draft. So by the time Wednesday rolls around, what do you have to do? You just pop in, give it a quick review, add your own personal touch, and hit schedule. All the hard, boring work is already done before you even pour your coffee. And this is the most important thing to get. It doesn't have to be complicated to work wonders. It's a really simple loop, right? Ideas, drafts, review. That's it. By just automating those first 2 parts, you're getting rid of the biggest headaches, staring at that blank page or slogging through a terrible first draft. Trust me, this isn't just a nice little time saver. It's an absolute game changer. So what does this all add up to? What's the real impact here? Let's put some numbers on it. We're talking about getting back the one thing you can never make more of, your time. We're talking at least 2 hours every single week. Do the math. That's 8 hours a month. That is an entire workday that you just got back for free. Think about that. What would you do with a whole extra day every month? Would you land more clients? Work on that new product idea? Or hey, maybe, just maybe, take a break you actually deserve. That is the real, tangible result of building just one of these little workflows. And listen, this is really just the starting line. This whole content workflow thing, that's just your training wheels. Once you really get this logic, define, select, trigger, deliver, you'll start seeing places to use it everywhere. Imagine automatically sending follow-up emails to clients or instantly replying to new leads. You now have the blueprint to automate tons of stuff in your business. So I'm going to leave you with a question. You have the blueprint now. You've seen exactly how it works. Your content is on its way to being automated. You're getting hours back in your week. So take a good, hard look at your business. What's the next boring, repetitive thing you're going to automate?